forget, you can hear the full-length, longer version wherever you get your podcasts. It's always nice when I get to be face-to-face with someone who we've already spoken to, but over Zoom or Skype. In fact, it was called Riverside, another platform. It doesn't matter unless the techie people, they're quite interested in that sort of thing. And when I spoke to Ross Noble, we had such a great conversation. I particularly loved when he was telling me all about his dealings with Mel Brooks. And now he's here in the flesh. Welcome, Ross.
Hello, this is nice.
You've come in today, and one foot has a nice kind of day glow training shoe on it.
Yes.
A Hoka.
Yes.
And the other one, though, oh no, what's happened to your foot?
Yeah, I've broke my foot. I've got one of them. Look, they call it a moon boot, don't they?
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear that on the moon. Neil Armstrong, he'd laugh you out the capsule if you turn up in that.
Yeah, it's not hermetically sealing the human body to any extent. So how did you get that?
You know who would wear that?
Who?
Michael Collins. No, Michael Collins was the one that was still inside so they went out and Michael Collins, so he was inside the spaceship, so he could wear what he liked. That's what I was saying.
Michael Collins?
Michael Collins.
I was thinking about some Irish
freedom
freedom fighter.
Yeah.
Which was also a film.
Yeah, but he never went to space.
And it was nothing to do with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Unless...
It was Liam Neeson, wasn't
it?
I think didn't he play Michael Collins?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
And what was the Guildford 4 film that Daniel Day-Lewis was in?
I like the idea there hasn't been a podcast that's basically just like watching an old folks home. Two confused men randomly going, who's that fella? What was his... You know that bloke? Was he the big fella? There's an idea for it. Right. This is what we should do. We should pitch this, right? It's a panel show. You are on one team with a group of elderly ladies. I'm on the other side with a group of elderly gentlemen.
It's a battle of the sexes.
Right. Yeah. And then, maybe... Oh, no, this is what it is. The audience are made up of old people. And then there's celebrities. And then you've got then you cover all your bases. And they don't see the picture. And they flash up the picture. And then you have to listen to them go, and he was in that Armstrong and Miller with and then you buzz in and you go, is it the Liam Neeson film, Michael Collins?
When he only had a left foot.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you break your foot?
Oh, yes. So I was out running.
In Australia?
In Australia.
Because you live in Australia. I always assume everybody knows that about you, but there'll be some new fans who don't know.
Well, the thing is that I lived in Australia, then I moved back here for 10 years, and then I moved back there, and we kept moving all the time. It's one of those things where there's times where I've been living in Australia and people think that I live here, and then there's times when I'm living here and people go, oh, you still live in Australia? I've been here for like 5 years. And then we might move back. And so yeah, we constantly...
Which part of Australia?
Melbourne, sort of south of Melbourne, down there. They call it the Mornington Peninsula. And there's it's all wineries. It's obviously it's a peninsula, so you got a lot of beach all the way around, hills, and then wineries and stuff. And there's a range and I was running out there, and I came barreling down the hill, wrenched my foot, snapped a bit of a bone, and
you snapped a bit of the bone.
Yeah, well, the tendon didn't rip, which is quite lucky. But what it did was it pulled the bone so hard, But I've broken a lot of bones.
So you're in Britain at the moment, and before we started recording, we were both saying how we're both running around. We're being pulled from pillar to post, doing lots of different things.
We weren't complaining, though.
No, I was. I was complaining a bit. You've got a tour coming up. Let's talk about it. So the tour is called?
The tour is called Cranium of Curiosities.
You have great titles, don't you, for your tours? No,
you great title, shit show.
Yeah.
The title's good.
Yeah, it shows they peak at the title.
You've had your money's worth. Yes, so Cranium of Curiosity, and so that starts January in Australia, and then I'll be in the UK sort of October, November, of 25, going through into 26. So
Blimey,
there we
that's
go.
a lot.
Yeah.
And there's no point saying rossnoble.com. I mean, just go to Google. And
You know what I've started saying? Check local press for details.
Or you're going back. I
There's
like
no-
that.
That's. I feel that's sort of dying out a bit, isn't
Ross
it?
Noble currently on tour. Well, at the end of old TV shows, remember, like you'd watch Crackerjack and they say,
God.
and Peter Glaze can currently be seen at the Princess Theatre Torquay in Where's My Trousers?
You know, the one that it used to be, the one that always used to make me laugh at the end of Brushstrokes. They always used to say at the end of Brushstrokes, and Carl Howman will be appearing at His Majesty's Theatre in Run for Your Wife. And you just go like, that was on the BBC.
Which doesn't add up, does it?
Even
but they
back
would
then.
do that.
Yeah,
they would do that.
Yeah.
So
They'll all be on there.
Is this new show written? To what extent are your shows written? You give the appearance of it all being spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive me if we covered this in our previous interview, which I think was mostly about Mel Brooks.
It is not written at the moment.
Okay.
What more would you like to know?
How are you feeling?
Look, here's what I do. I go on stage with nothing, and so that's the end of January. So I go on stage with nothing at all, and then I'll just see what comes out, and then follow the ideas. And then what tends to happen is I'll get an idea, I'll improvise something, and then I go, oh, that's interesting. Like, because 90% of it you can never repeat, because you need, well, like this, you need all of the references to get to the thing at the end. So it doesn't. But you might get like one idea, and you think, oh, actually, I can play with that. So then the next night I go on, and I'll kind of go, all right, I got that in my head. Now sometimes I never get to that because I get distracted. But then I'll go on and I'll play around with that idea, and from that idea, something else will come. And then that might form into something. And then the next night, I might take two ideas and then smash them together.
So over the course of the tour, then, you have more of these sort of staging posts that you can move between.
But I get bored of them. So I kind of, something will kind of lay, I get bored of it, I'll forget about it. And then 3 weeks later, I might go, oh, but the half of that, I might do the start.
So you get bored of it rather than wanting to finesse it.
Absolutely. But the finessing of it, that'll happen so quickly that I just get to the point where...
You're a quick finesser, are you?
You know what? That's the one thing they say about me. Nobody finesses quicker than Noble.
He's very quick to finesse. I'll give him that. Yeah, great titles and very quick to finesse.
Very quick to finesse. That's almost, going back to classic comedy, Felix Boness.
Quick to finesse.
If you were to take Felix Boness and Felix,
he was in Heidi High, and he was a warm-up man, and he was the jockey now, but he was a warm-up man for lots of sitcoms, wasn't he?
Yeah. And right, Spike, you get the funny Lord Nelson. You get the funny Lord Nelson. I'll meet you by the pool. They need to reboot Heidi High.
Oh well, when I was growing up, confession time.
Okay.
I was a little bit dismissive of Allo.
Wow. Right.
Slightly thought, it's just not very... Now, when I happen upon it, I very much enjoy it.
Mm. The thing about Allo is it's one of those things where I don't know whether or not nowadays mining the Gestapo for comedy would fly in quite the same way.
I don't think they were condoning.
No, they weren't. Absolutely, no, they were making a mockery.
They were condemning.
They were
mockery.
They were making a mockery of it. But I think now people would just go, "Whoa, hang on a second, we can't have funny Nazis," which is mad because you're right. They were. But the thing about Allo is that, well, myself and the guys that I tour with, the crew. For a long time, we would play a game of Is He Dead? This could be another one for is that fella dead?
Yeah.
We spent 3 years arguing about whether Gordon Kay was still with us.
He had a terrible accident, of course.
He did. Advertising hoarding hit him.
I heard it was a plank, came through the windscreen of his car.
Split his head.
Absolutely.
That that is why when it comes to is Gordon Kay alive or not, there are people who will look you in the eye and go, no, he died in that. He died in the wind, but he didn't. He survived that.
I have my own format,
Right.
which, if I can be a little middle class, I came up with on a skiing holiday once and we were having dinner, which is this,
Yep.
which is, when did I die? Now, this game,
Right.
this is quite a vexing, foxing game. It sounds dull, but, and you don't need celebrities, although it gives it a bit of colour. You just say, you name someone.
Yes.
When did I die? So let's play it.
Yeah, okay. And sorry, just stop the clock for a second. We'll play this. Don't let me forget. We can have a lovely game of in the cage, out the cage. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So George Harrison and Ross Noble joins us. Ross, when did George Harrison die?
Oh, God. When did George Harrison die? Well, I'm going to say probably 89.
89. That was at the height of the travelling Wilburys. Are you mad?
Oh, of course it was.
You see now, you see the beauty of the format.
I do see the beauty.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Although, what's bizarre is have you seen the age of the travelling Wilburys?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were young, weren't they?
They were young.
They were young.
Yeah.
And at the time we thought, oh, these old guys giving it one more go.
They were like, Roy Orbison was like 43 or something.
He died... he died while they were still a thing, didn't they? But this is my game, you see.
They were still travelling.
Then they became, if they had, they'd have obviously become the resident Wilburys.
What a brilliant tribute band.
The resident Wilburys.
Yeah, because there's my favourite tribute band is there's a band in Newcastle called Bon Jovi.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they do it. So when did he die then?
I don't know, but I mean that's
the flaw in your format. You can't just and what is the actor?
I won't have to look it up, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
But it's quite hard with people. So you can go back to everybody knows that when Elvis died or Lennon. You know when Lennon died.
Yeah.
When?
Hang on, are we talking about John Lennon or Lennon? I think you're going to have to need the information and specify.
John Lennon.
John Lennon, that was that 82?
I would have said it was 80 or 81, but it could have been 82.
82 was the year of the embassy siege. SES.
He had nothing to do with that.
No, but
you can't implicate him in that. Come on.
Yeah, but they all had masks on. We don't know. He could have been.
Hey, I'm going in, and I'm not letting them out. Yoko,
give peace a chance.
You keep an eye on the door.
Yeah, he stormed the embassy. I'd like to know. I'd like to know these facts now.
Because it's such a great format.
Yeah. No. Well, what about this then? So I'm a Nicolas Cage obsessive. Right.
Oh,
I'm obsessed with this. He's my favorite actor. And
why?
Have you seen any of his films ever?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's why.
Have you seen the recent one where I didn't see it? I love the trailer where he's having dreams or something like that.
Oh,
and he's in people's dreams.
A dream scenario. Yeah. I saw that at the cinema. Actually, that's a treat. Oh no, that's the thing about Nicolas Cage. He puts out so many movies. You think that's his latest film.
Yeah.
He's already Longlegs came out after that. So, Dream Scenario was last year.
Why is he one of those people that lost all his money and has to make a lot of movies? Oh.
Yeah, yes, exactly that. He at one point he bought a castle near Bath. And he ended up turning on the Christmas lights in Bath. That's honest to God, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh look,
and you're not going to get much. The Bath Council don't have a lot of money.
Oh no, I think they just went, do you want to do it, Nick? He's like, yeah. He just did it.
Anyway, right, in the cage or out of the cage?
Yeah, so in the cage, out the cage. So yes, he lost all his money. He bought the most haunted house in America. He bought a mausoleum that looked like a pyramid. He tried to claim that 2 of the deadly cobras that he bought were his acting coach. What else can I tell? Anyway, he
married Lisa Marie Presley.
He certainly did, yeah. And
he was a massive Elvis fan.
A huge Elvis.
I mean, really huge Elvis fan. Owned a lot of Elvis's stuff.
obsessed with obsessed with Superman as well.
Yes, he was going to play Superman at one point.
That's right. He called his son Kal-El, just Superman's
Kal-El.
Kal-El.
You're thinking of Pan Am, the airway.
Pam-Ayres?
Pam-Ayres, that's right. He called his son Pam-Ayres. I wish I'd looked after my teeth.
Pan Am, a lot in that game show, Pan Am and Pam-Ayres, because air, like the air. it's so, there's a picture of a plane and a picture of a, here's some more of me poetry.
Pan Am-Ayres.
Pan Am-Ayres. Get Osmond on the phone. We've got a question for you. It's an aeroplane and it's an old poet.
Oh, not old. I mean, well, she is, but sorry, Pam, if you're listening.
No, I don't think Pam-Ayres is going to kick off about being described as old.
No, but she won't want reminding. She's worried about the wildlife in her garden.
What do you think Pam-Ayres leaps out of bed every morning with a spring in her step, backflips into the Yoda studio?
Where she does her Yoda.
Pilates will do. And there's like...
In the cage, out of the cage.
Out the cage.
What's the format?
So here's the format, is I say the name... I have to have a think here. Right, so I say the name of a film, and if it's a real Nicolas Cage film, you say in the cage.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If it's not, you say it's out the cage.
I'm ready to play.
Okay, here we go. So, Pig.
Hang on, are you going to do a little bit of chat first? Our first contestant?
Sorry, I see. And our first contestant here, it's Monday's episode of In the Cage, Out the Cage, because I'm going to do it over 5 days.
You'll record them all in an hour.
All in a day, but I'm going to do the Osmond thing.
Yeah.
It's Rob Brown's joined us today, and I'm going to be asking him about his knowledge of Nicolas Cage. Are you ready for this?
Hi, Ross.
Hi.
Yeah.
Are you primed?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Our first film, is it In the Cage or Out the Cage? Pig.
In the cage.
It is in the cage.
Yeah.
It's about a truffle hunter whose prize pig gets kidnapped and he goes to try and find it. Have you seen Pig?
No.
It's really good film. Okay. Prisoners of the Ghost Land.
Out of the cage.
It's in the cage.
Is it? What was that?
It was a very odd film, where one of his testicles gets blown off by a small explosive. Okay, next film. Is it In the Cage? Is it Out the Cage? Jiu-Jitsu.
Out of the cage.
That's in the cage.
I don't remember that.
Jiu-Jitsu. It's where his character folds small hats, and you know those paper hats
Yes.
that you make yourself, like kids
Yes.
and that, and then the other character turns around and goes, "Are those paper hats?" And he goes, "Yeah, they're paper hats. It's an art. It's a craft."
That's a very good Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I'm obsessed with him. Okay, one more. Let's try one
Oh,
more.
hang on a minute. Give us a bit. That's impressive.
Let's just do one more, right? Right. We've got Pointless is coming up in a minute. Okay, here we go. In the Cage, Out the Cage. Pay the Ghost.
Out of the cage, because you took a while to think.
It's in the cage. Pay the Ghost. Now, let me tell you, I'll give you a little insight into the game. They're all in the cage. I never make any up because I don't have to. He has made so many films. Pay the Ghost is a genuine Nicolas Cage film. Pay the Ghost. Yeah.
He's very special.
Oh, he is. There's a film called Arsenal. Have you ever seen Arsenal?
Not about the football.
I wish it was.
Yeah.
But he has this sort of, he wears a false nose and he has a wig on. And once you see, do you remember a character that Vic Reeves used to do called Kinky John? Do you remember?
What did he look
My
like?
name is Kinky John, and I am here at Barron's nightclub. It was
Vaguely, yeah.
And he looks and sounds exactly like Kinky John. So yeah, pretty much, because people remember the big Cage films, but yeah, things like Pay the Ghost and yeah.
But that impression of him.
Pig's great. You should
Stop brushing away my compliment.
Oh my God. Thank you.
That impression of him
I appreciate that.
was unexpectedly accurate.
I spend a lot of time on my own.
Teach me how to do him.
Well, he's kind of so he's got like a like it's and he go in Gone in 60 Seconds. He goes slow. He sort of goes slow, and then he goes fast. So like when he goes, okay, let's ride. So it's like he ramps in and then he does it. But the difficult thing about him is because he changes his line reading on everything, it's quite hard you have to decide which cage you want to do. You know how there's some actors who like obviously Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And apparently he just gets bored and he changes.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Berry does the same thing. You know how
yeah, of course he
Matt
does. I
Berry's
hadn't
got that.
thought of that, but that's true.
He's
Yeah.
sort of like, yes. that you know what I mean? He's got that thing where he sort of goes, it's a violin. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he changes and Cage does that, but Cage doesn't do it I think with Matt Berry and Christopher Walken, I think they do it on purpose.
Right.
But Cage is he just lets it go. Yes, you sort of had to, but there's a sort of, he goes, yeah, he's like that. And then he sort of explodes.
Yeah, it was kind of the energy of it as well. Have you ever met him?
I've not met, no, I've never met him.
Would you like to meet him, or are you happy with him being on the pedestal?
No, I really would. I would love to meet him. I really would.
Would you like to meet him as an anonymous fan, or would you like to meet him with him knowing that you are much lauded comedian Ross Noble?
I would like to meet him where I met. This is a fine to name drop here, isn't it?
If you're going to name drop anywhere, you name drop with me.
So Christopher Lloyd,
Marty. Oh yeah.
Well, I thought that was him. I honestly thought that Christopher Lloyd was. I thought when he was doing Doc Brown.
Yeah.
I thought that was a character. He came to see my show.
Yeah. Oh,
and
wow.
then I met him afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. Like, so I have a signed body warmer. Michael J. Fox body warmer.
How did you come by that?
I purchased it.
From where?
Well, no, it was my wife. My wife get this, right? You love this, right? You love a bit of classic comedy. Sorry, stop the clock on that. I recently came into my possession. I now own Sir Norman Wisdom's the certificate, his honorary doctorate from Lancaster University.
And how and why?
You will not believe this. Car boot sale.
What, just randomly?
I was randomly at a car boot sale. I was at a car boot sale, and there was a picture. There was a picture of Norman Wisdom being presented. Joyce Grenfell. Was it her? It was a.
Susie Quattro.
Oh God! Sorry, I'm gone again. This Is Your Life. There was a picture of him. This Is Your Life,
yes.
right? And I saw this thing, and there was that picture, and there was another picture of him. And I said to the guy, I went, how much do you want for these? He's like, it's $5. And I was like, wow, this is. And then there was another, and it was a flyer from one of his old shows. And I said, yeah, I'll take that as well. And he went, he's like, got a load of that stuff. He went, and he goes, do you know what this is? And I thought, do I go, yeah. I was like, no, I don't know. I like the frames. Right. Anyway, he said, yeah, I've got a load of Norman Wisdom stuff. And I went, right. And I went, what else have you got? He said, I've got a picture of him with the Queen, and I've got his honorary doctorate and all this stuff. And I went, how much do you? I took the lot. Did you? So yeah. So and and he was, anyway. So
do you like owning people's stuff? I'd like to own some of Elvis's stuff. I'd love to own something that he had or wore or
right.
I would like. Do you have anything else?
Oh yeah.
What have you got?
I've got a signed picture of. Laurel and Hardy that used to belong to Robin Williams.
How did you come by that?
I bought it at an auction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've got a signed picture of Evel Knievel that used to belong to Russell Crowe.
At an auction.
Yeah, weirdly, I did buy it at an auction, but then subsequently became friends with him, and yeah, so that was a weird thing. Can I tell you this is a all right? I'll tell you the story, right? So I mentioned the Russell Crowe thing, right? I ended up. It's a long story, but basically, I ended up supporting. I opened for Indoor Garden Party,
Yeah.
which is his band, at the Colosseum in Rome.
Good God.
Yeah. Extraordinary, right? So this is what, like, he's really funny, right? And then so what happens is he texts me, he says, Colosseum, Rome, do you fancy it? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking, because I happened to be in London at the time, and I thought, oh, brilliant, I'll go and see the band in Rome, right? Yeah. And he went, great. You only have to do 15 minutes. Half the audience will speak English, right? Now, as a comedian, you will know the idea of A, supporting a band, B, supporting a band outdoors, supporting a band, basically an audience that don't all speak English. And so I sent a thing back going, I mean, I will if you want me to, but I can't stress enough how badly this could go, right? It's at the Colosseum. So, and I said, if anyone should know about dying at the Colosseum, it's you.
Oh, nice line.
It's perfect, right? Anyway, so he goes, it'll be fine. And it's one of those things where you go, you know what? If nothing else, I'll get a story out of this, right? So, which thank God. And to be honest, it's not even anyway. So I turn up, right, at the Colosseum. They're sound checking, right? And I walk round the corner, and they're sound checking. He's sitting on the stage, having a fag, smoking away like that. And he looks up like that. And I go around the corner, and I sort of put my arms up like that, as if to go, well, I'm here. This is going to be. And he stands up like that. And the Colosseum is behind him. And he stands up, and he puts his arms out to the side. And in full Maximus, he goes, for those who are about to die, we salute you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And how did you go down?
Down on my arse. No, it was good. You know what? It turned out it was really, a bloke turned up late, down the front. He's walked in late, and he's sort of shaking hands with people. And I'm going, who's this? What are you doing, mate? You're turning up, and you're just shaking hands. And all the Italians, they're all like that. And, I started off, I was like, I wasn't meant to be here tonight. I'm not supposed to be doing this gig. I was supposed to be supporting Mel Gibson outside the pyramids, right? That was my opener. Nice. And so anyway, they're like, and you could tell the English people are laughing. And this guy's like, he's shaking hands with people. And so I start taking the piss out of him. And they were, hey. And I go, what are you all cheering about? And the woman goes, it's the mayor of Rome. And it turns out he's the mayor of Rome. And then, so it was, it was like Sadiq Khan turning up down the front. And once I found that out, it was just, and they liked it. It was a great, those things where you go, oh, this could be horrible. And then it turns out to be great. And you go, oh, I'm glad I did that now. So,
well, if you've enjoyed listening to Ross Noble sharing some of his stories with us, you'll be pleased to know that he will be embarking on a tour at the beginning of 2025.
I forgot what we were talking about.
I think we have to bring the interview to a close.
What an absolute joy.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like this whole thing has been a preamble to what should have been a show.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's very relaxed.
Yes. Well, anyway, thank you for having me.
Okay, well, look, I'm trying to wrap up. Ross, the tour, see local press for details. The tour is called Cranium of Curiosities. I mean, if it's only half as funny as you've been today, probably not funny enough for a proper show.
Yeah.